Greetings and welcome to a new episode of World Builders Ministries. Don't forget to take a look at Micah's Discord server if you're interested, and remember to share and comment on my videos. Discussion is encouraged, and only comments promoting blasphemy against God will be taken down. Now let's start this video about life in the monotheist Holy Empire compared to the progressive United Republic. These two nations are in a cold war with each other, so people within them live very different lives. Because of this, let's focus on the daily lives of people within each nation, for that's what ultimately matters, right? The Holy Empire is often depicted as a rural nation, mostly containing agricultural communities and small towns. Despite this, its capital of Basileia is one of the biggest cities in the world, home to about 40 million people, just over the size of Tokyo. This city is orderly and grand, home to beautiful architecture and streets devoid of the crime found within the typical Republican city. Law enforcement is done by the national police, local militias, and occasionally helped by the numerous nightly orders and inquisitions carried out by the empire. Despite this, the government does not engage in surveillance over its citizens or have the power to conduct malicious investigations to tamper with people's names. Meanwhile, people in more rural communities also prosper, living joyfully on farms and experiencing life at its fullest, while still dealing with the harsh reality of nature. Although these people are poorer than those in the Republic, they are much happier in the way they live their lives. University education, while promoted as an option, is not the only option for people in the empire, as there are many trade schools and apprenticeships to be taken up. For this reason, the people of the Holy Empire have more opportunities and a better lifestyle than those in the Republic. Going to the United Republic, one can learn exactly how evil it is. Throughout its cities and towns, degeneracy dominates and the values of truth, beauty, and morality are kept down. Meanwhile, the government is ensuring that rural communities decline to keep a better tab on its civilians. Most people within the Republic work meaningless jobs in bureaucratic offices, as both hard work and true individuality are treated as jokes. Instead, people are sedated by the unhealthy slop that passes as all natural, by the government's stringent regulations that somehow miss the point every time, perhaps intentionally so. Despite this, people within the Republic are much richer than those in the Empire. They have nicer houses, bigger TVs, and a more comfortable life. The upper class within the Republic, suburban bureaucrats and office workers, live lives that are ideal to them. There is no adventure throughout the Republic. Everything is either too dangerous or problematic for its citizens to engage in. Its elite, far from the cultured nobility of the Holy Empire, live plastic lives in cheap yet large houses, preferring cheese sliders over the elegance of French cuisine and pop music over the orchestral wonders of the empire. Now, let's move on to the ideals of religion. The Holy Empire is a strictly monotheist society, with a full ban on the public practice of any non-monotheistic religion. Despite this, there is a certain level of tolerance within the empire, allowing individuals to practice heretical beliefs in private, with the understanding that the Inquisitions would have to control every aspect of one's life in order to enforce such a ban. Think of it as a soft ban rather than regulations, but at least the empire is honest in its actions. Essentially, this works as a stricter form of laïcité for atheists and polytheists, though slightly more strict than the actions of the French Republic. The official religion of the Holy Empire is Triune Orthodoxy, a religion founded by 3 great prophets and focused on 3 holy sites within Tethys. The Church of Triune Orthodoxy has a heavy influence within the nation's government, even if other monotheist religions exist. Along with this, every religion within the empire has its own form of an inquisition, from Southern Baptists and Rabbinic Jews to Orthodox Christians and Ahmadiyya Muslims. These inquisitions only hunt those in charge of breaking religious laws or promoting heresies, and despite numerous works of Republican propaganda, the worst the Inquisition can do is excommunicate you rather than a full execution. Meanwhile, the United Republic has similar regulations on religion, though this time, instead of focusing on maintaining a religion's inherent beliefs from external corruption, these regulations focus on aligning religions with secular values. In the Tolerance and Diversity Act of 2027, the following regulations have been unleashed. First, religions within the United Republic must proclaim that there are many paths to the divine, and that they are simply a truth rather than the truth. Next, religions have to respect the rights of all citizens within the Republic, regardless of race, gender, political affiliation, sexuality, religious belief, or lack thereof. The final regulation shows the true purpose of the former two regulations, requiring all religions within the United Republic to register with associations like the Interfaith Alliance for Secular Democracy. This will ensure that their religions promote values that the Republican government tells them to, essentially forbidding them from being independent religions, and instead making them part of the Republic's satanic administration. Here, the Republic emphasizes that there is no truth except a commitment to democracy and human rights, showing its true colors everywhere one goes. Now, about governance. The United Republic is a champion of democracy, with various political parties in its government ranging from communist to fascist. However, there are ultimately three political parties, each with equal sway and interpretations of the Republic's original values. These parties are known as revolutionaries, Democrats, and progressives. Revolutionaries are the Republic's fanatic and militarist bent, dominated by those who seek to spread democracy throughout the world. Following this, we have the Democrats, who focus on internal liberalization and freedom and are the most neutral faction. Finally, the progressives wish to progress society forward, though this really means making the dominant societal motif spread throughout the country. However, real power does not lie in the hands of political parties. Instead of the people's votes actually counting, real power is in the hands of a variety of bureaucratic and economic groups. Some of these groups are corporations, others are bureaucratic organizations like the IASD, and others are journalists. Within the United Republic, a culture has been built where journalists are regarded as the architects of a better world and are to be believed no matter what. For this reason, the government is able to create narratives that do not accurately represent the truth, dismissing any opposition as either reactionary or a conspiracy theory. Meanwhile, in the Holy Empire, the political system is much better. The emperor, while powerful, is not the only one with political power, for he's ultimately beholden to 5 factions: the nobility, clergy, military, parliament, and representatives of minority factions. To manage this, a complex bureaucracy has been established, ensuring that each of these factions has their own internal squabbles and cannot directly challenge the emperor for power. However, if the emperor's reign is bad enough to gain the ire of the church, this will spiral into every other faction slowly denouncing it. Meanwhile, most people living in their own communities do not have to deal with the squabbling affairs of the empire's complex political system. Instead, they enjoy their countryside or small town life without much trouble, occasionally benefiting from the nobility. Aspiring artists, scientists, and others can be taken under the pilgrimage of the nobility, earning their own way through life through great works. For this reason, artistic standards are high, and the greatest of artists are truly exalted in the nation's great concert halls and political groups. This is why the culture of the empire will always be better than that of the Republic. Its entire political system is dedicated to its preservation. In conclusion, the Holy Empire is a nation whose ideals are based on God, whereas the United Republic is dedicated to Satan. A final reminder to be an artist, not a nerd, and that the Lord is the divine source of creation. He who is greater than all is greater than all, the honored, blessed, and great, most powerful, most beautiful, most wise, most loving, and most righteous. Amen.